So our mainly 5 of us. For me, I'm Adam. I'll be doing the HR. Elena will be doing service. Harry will be doing retail sales. Kenta will be doing B2B. And finally, Declan will be doing the business automation. So for HR, we know that people is our best asset. Therefore, we have to hire well. And based on we always choose the best based on their personality type. Next, I would like to introduce service.
So for the service, our strategy is to hire one more staff in each support, because at the very beginning we don't have much cash on hand. So that's why it's a very important source for to build our business. And also the rest of the part is also important. And now I will pass the time to Harry.
I'm Harry. I would like to share some views on the retail and e-commerce. Firstly, I will keep checking the retail forecast because it gives us some good indicator and some prediction for us to adjust the retail price and marketing expense in order to get a higher market share and retail revenue. And the second thing is that if we have too much goods on the retail store or warehouse, e-commerce is a good channel to sell some goods in order to generate more cash flow. And the third thing is that if there is some sudden shortage on the goods on retail store, I think the finished goods procurement can help on this situation. Then we will talk about the B2B.
I'm Kenta. I will talk about the B2B. So from the B2B, other teams may know, you may heard from other presentations, they always bid from the lower price. So we do, but it depends on our store, the amount of the store we have in the warehouse, and also the speed of the production. So if the B2B, there is loss of apple or orange, it depends. It depends on the pricing and how much we have left in the warehouse. So maybe sometimes we will have $2 or $3 lower than the maximum bid, but sometimes we are just similar to the cost of the good. Maybe they have a lower margin, profit margin, but at least we can have more than 400 B2B orders in the market. We also do data analysis. With the power of the data science, we analyze today the competition with the yesterday and also previous scan in the last week. We can saw that today we have a higher net profile than the yesterday. And we use the first 50 days for the data analysis. From this data, we can saw our strategy, our patterns is similar to the yesterday and the previous. So if there is suddenly or a big variation, we will have a change of the strategy in the remaining days.
Okay, so from the perspective of production, we noticed that it is important to balance the supply and demand so that we always follow the above rules. So if we could follow the above rule, then at least we could ensure that our company would not face failure due to the production loss. So for me, I mainly focus on business automation. So at the very beginning of this game, I will do the retail forecast and finished goods procurement so that we could ensure that there would be enough goods in the retail at the beginning and gain as much market share as we can. And then we'll try to test different marketing campaigns so that we could see whether our current pricing strategy or marketing channels are the right options for us to fit in. And thirdly, we will continue to start doing the simple production environment setup, usually one machine and blanket delivery of raw materials. After that, we will try to automate the whole business process by using MRP and auto replenishment so that we can automate the logistics of the stock management. Finally, we will focus on the business scaling so that we can scale up with machine, rental, and marketing expenses.
So lastly, as we know, we are at the age of the big data. So no matter we are from what background, logistics, business, or even data science or computer science, the data we generate is more valuable than ourselves. So we base on the data, all the game we have played from the 7th of the June, we're analyzing all the data result, we find the pattern. Maybe there is no such formula, but at least it's good for us to, as a reference, whether our strategy is good or right. So we are Atomic Poly8 and we play beyond.
Thank you, team Atomic Poly8. Here we move on to the Q&A section.
So
I believe that you are coming from the data scientists or the team, right?
Yes.
You're studying on this.
Yes.
Okay, so when you're talking about you're taking the basis of the 50 days of the transactions in order to do all those analysis, it is statistical significance?
Well, you know, the central limit theorem is 30. So we have meet the minimum requirement of the central limit theorem. And also we have a lot of data. I mean, from those data we have analyzed at least more than 2,000 transaction data. So it's a very strong evidence for the results.
So when you mentioned about you use these kind of the statistical analysis to do the retail forecast, what exactly the methodology that you have been deployed? Say, for example, maybe regression or somewhere. What exactly the mechanism that you are deploying when you're doing the forecast?
I think, as I mentioned, every game they have a different setting. Mm-hmm. So if you have using the regression, no matter typically it's not the linear one, but it's kind of meaningless because every game setting is different. So you cannot put the last game pattern into the next game. But at least we can observe that, like for the first few days, you always have to buy raw material. You have the cash flow. So if you have saw it, this is the days and also the cash on hand. We analyze the cash. We have the operating expense, and this figure will be keep growing. I mean, when the days is going on. So we saw that if it is similar to our previous game, maybe every game have different setting, but the pattern or the methodology is similar. So we try to solve the